Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is yet another Fomo wishlist for July 2025. I am filming it way in advance. Today is the 20th and I wanted to film this video just because I'm going out on vacation and I'm pre-filming a lot of content for you guys, and I definitely did not want to miss on this. So I'm going to talk about a few things that are there on my wishlist for July 2025. I really hope that you would not mind me filming a little bit in advance. Whatever I'm not filming right now and what I missed in July, I would definitely cover in August, okay? So if you guys are ready to see what is in my wish list, please keep on watching. Okay, so let's first start off with the Gourmande Girls Mocha Moment palette. You saw me, I've already duped the vibes of that palette with the already existing shades. I'll link that in the iCards above for you guys. When I put the palette together with the shades that were inspired by the Mocha Moment palette, I felt like I was not interested in reaching out for it again and again, and I have actually duped a lot of palettes. I generally try to dupe a lot of palettes, at least with the already existing shades that are there in my collection, just so that I know whether that color story speaks to me or not. And for me, I felt like that's color story didn't speak to me much, and it was nothing unique that I do not have in my collection. So for that reason, I'm going to put that out of my wish list. The next palette that was there in the wish list was the Unoriginal Nudes by Bella Beauty Bar. This is another palette that I did dupe out in my channel, and I knew for a fact that all the shades that are there in the Unoriginal Nudes, I would definitely have it in my collection. And it's another neutral palette. Do I have a neutral palette and do I love neutral palettes? Absolutely. I'm a big neutral person. I love a good neutral palette, but I also love a good spicy neutral, something neutrals with a twist. But that palette, I felt like it's bland neutral. Of course, there are some shimmery, beautiful shades there, but I feel like Bella Beauty Bar does palettes more in the fall Halloween season that appeal to me more. So for that reason, I feel like I don't need to spend my money on the Unoriginal Nudes right now. So for that reason, that is also going out of my wish list. The next thing that is there that I noted down in my wish list is the Danessa shimmer sticks. Now this definitely captured my attention, and I know for a fact that Danessa does a lot of shimmery eyeshadow sticks, and I feel like if you're more into that kind of style of makeup, with a few mattes or just one and done eyeshadow, I feel like you'll absolutely love it. I can see myself grabbing one shade out of the lot, and I'll definitely go out for a neutral shade. Surprise if you don't know me. But it also reminds me, I'm also very interested in the Dose of Colors shadow stick. I know they also have 2 shades of the shimmer stick, and I've heard beautiful things about it. If I'm looking for one shadow stick that's a one and done shade, I wanted more I wanted less opaque and more transparent, more toppery kind of shades. So for that reason, I feel like Danessa shimmer stick would go out of my wish list, and maybe I will get the Dose of Colors one. So that's my thought process when I'm talking to you guys. The next thing that is on that was listed here was the liquid bronzer by Natasha denona. Now I feel like I'm not a big liquid bronzer person. I always gravitate more towards the powder bronzer. I do have cream bronzer stick, which I love, but I don't see of course that concept really appeals to me. I feel like the packaging is more like a pump packaging. I feel like it's great for sanitary purposes or if you're doing makeup on others, but for myself, I don't see myself grabbing on for that product over and over again, especially the lifestyle that I have. I'm always in a rush. When I'm going to office, I'm if I have to film 3 palettes 3 looks video, I'll just go there, film, and then run out of the door. I do not take half an hour to do my makeup early in the morning. So I don't think that style of makeup would appeal to my lifestyle. So for that reason, I'm still just keeping it there. I see myself getting it out of my wish list in months to go. So I'm definitely not grabbing it right here and there. So that can go out of my wish list. Talking about Natasha denona, she also came out with a mini Gloom palette, right? Again, that is a palette that is more green leaning. It's more it's pretty much like the new Glaminatrix Tones of Dirt palette. but like more sophisticated, not like too shimmery, but it's those like poopy greens in that palette. And I did have the Natasha Denona mini gold palette, which I did give it to my sister because those are not the tones that I gravitate towards. You know how I do not like greens on me, so for that reason I don't think I will use Gloom a lot. And also I feel like I use Natasha Denona mini palettes much more than the mini palettes. Actually, I just have one mini palette from Natasha Denona right now. One I do not like. I feel like when I'm looking at the quality, I considerably see like the quality difference in the midi palettes and the mini palettes, and I feel like I do not reach out for smaller palettes in my everyday life, and you can be totally different. I feel like there are a lot of people who would gravitate towards like a smaller pan eyeshadow palette, especially like 9-pan eyeshadow palettes or a quad. I am not that person, so I really love a good variety in my palette when I'm investing in one. So for that reason, I'm gonna put the Gloom palette out of my wish list. Okay, now let's talk about Dede Signature. Dede Signature also actually did come out with 2 palettes. I did write the Lioness Heart palette, which again was a super colorful palette. I really hope that one day Dede Signature does come out with like more like a spicy neutral palette rather than like super colorful. I feel like I get like super neon-y colored vibes from them, which I personally am not a big like colorful person, so for that reason I'm putting that out of my wish list. But I feel like if they come out with like a spicy neutral palette, I would love to try them because I've heard beautiful comments from like other YouTubers in the industry, but I'm just waiting for a color story that speaks to me, and then I can give them a try. So for that reason, I'm putting that Lioness Heart palette out of my wish list. Now let's talk about the Odens Alva collection. There were 4 palettes that were released. Personally speaking, none of the palettes did appeal to me. I was seriously looking forward to it. The only palette that appeals to me is the autumn palette. Summer palette is super blue. The spring palette is nothing unusual. It's more like a pink and a purple palette, which I do have several of these shades in the collection. When I talk about the winter palette, it's more like a purple color story. But again, there are so many things that it's not appealing to me much. The only palette that actually did spark a little bit of interest was the autumn palette, but that is again a yellow and a green color story, which I personally would not wear that much. So for that reason, Alva collection did not spark joy to me, and for that reason it's gonna go out of my wish list. The next thing on my wish list is the Klarity Cosmetics Glam and Go palette, and I almost got this. This was in my cart. I was like, I've never tried Klarity Cosmetics before, and I did hear a lot of mixed views about and mixed comments about Klarity Cosmetics on like some people really love their eyeshadow, some people think their eyeshadows are super fragile. And then when I saw the Glam and the Glow palette, it is a neutral palette with a lot of silvers. The shimmers appeared very similar to one another, even though there were like super like variety of mattes there. I would still keep this in my wish list. If this goes out on a sale, maybe I can get it in my collection, but it's not like jumping out to me that I really need it right away. So that's just gonna stay in my wish. The next palette that it just tingled a little bit of spark on my heart was the Beauty Bay Desert Haze palette. It has a lot of warm tones, which I really love. I feel like there are a lot of color stories right now that is coming in the indie makeup industry that is more like green leaning, which I am not a big fan of, and I don't need so many green palettes in my collection. I do have a lot of palettes which I love, which has like green shades in it, especially the Glaminatrix new palette. I absolutely love that. But the Desert Haze palette, the more I kept it in my wish list, I was like, it is an easily forgettable palette in when I look at it. It's nothing unique. Yes, it looks beautiful, but is it any shades that I do not have in my collection? No. So I want to get more unique tones in my collection. For that reason, I'm going to just put that out of my wish list. The next item that I put was the Question Beauty Fable of Spice and Bloom palette, and this is, I really loved their first palette more in terms of color story as compared to the second palette, and In the second palette, I actually saw my friend Sini on Instagram. Her swatches, it was so beautiful. Actually, she makes me want every palette that she swatches. It's so pretty. I felt like the shimmers were definitely varying from like very light shimmers to very deep shimmers. But when I'm talking about the mattes, I know the mattes, what I heard was like they're very lightly pressed, so it's more like watercolor effect on the eyes, and it's not like super opaque or dark or deep. And I love a good deeper matte in the outer corner. You know that I always do a deeper matte in the outer corner. It does have one deeper matte, but I feel like if you are putting so many colorful shimmers, like deeper shimmers in the palette, I feel like you definitely need to give depth in your eyeshadow palette. Plus it has a lot of like green leaning tones, a lot of colorful tones, I must say, in that palette. So I feel like I can still wait on it. Can I see myself grabbing one Question Beauty eyeshadow palette in the future? Absolutely. I really want to test out that brand for sure, but I don't think this is going to be that palette for me. Next, let's talk about the Glaminatrix palette. There is a new Glaminatrix palette that is gonna come. By the time you're seeing this video, you'll already see the palette published out. At this point of time, I just know that there's a palette coming. I just got a email from them that they're gonna send it to me in PR. That's another story. Whenever their palettes come, we have to sign when we receive the palette, and I feel like I'm not here when the palette arrives. I really hope that they leave the palette on my front porch. I don't want to lose out on that palette because I'm so excited. You know how much I love Glaminatrix eyeshadows. I really don't want to miss out on that PR package. But since nobody is there, I don't know how that is going to turn out. But I'm extremely happy to see and excited to see what they are coming out in the future. I'm spying a more of a warmer tone color story. You guys tell me if it is a warm tone color story or not. I'll plop a picture on the screen for you guys if it is already revealed, or you'll already know what palette. The only thing that I know that they teased was they teased like a fire gif on Instagram, so I'm assuming that's going to be more of a warm tone color story. Very excited to see. But if it arrives, you know there's a review, there's 3 looks all coming for you guys. The next palette that is capturing my attention, and this is also getting revealed completely when I'm out on vacation, is the Cosmic Beauty Smoulder palette. And this seems like, at least from the sneak peek that I saw that they revealed, it's definitely more like a smokier or a gray leaning palette, I would say. It definitely has one multi-chrome shade. It's giving that smoky glam Bella Beauty Bar palette, or a little bit more like gray leaning color story. We'll see if that appeals to me when it is completely revealed or not. That is a brand that I really love in terms of quality, and their price point is right there too. So I really am excited to see how this Smoulder palette comes out to be, but it's definitely on my wish list. The next thing that was revealed was the Unearthly Cosmetics Shadowsculpt palette. Now again, I'm so glad that Amanda, the owner of Unearthly Cosmetics, when she revealed the mystery palette, she said that it is going to be a green lovers palette. Because of that, I knew that I do not need to buy that. And Shadowsculpt is more of a green leaning palette. The mattes are completely green. The shimmers are multi-chrome, shifty, but also has like a lot of green in it. So for that reason, I'm gonna skip that out of it, and I'm gonna put it out of my wish list, just because I love Unearthly quality palette, but I also need to use a lot of palettes that I have in my collection. I'm clearly not using enough, so that is why it's going out of my wish list. The last thing that I have to talk about is the Adept Cosmetics EB East palette. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. But this is more, I feel like I did just buy the Unity palette from them, and the EBE's palette looks more like a deeper version of the Unity palette, at least in terms of mattes. And if you are looking for more like shifty shimmers that are again a little bit more green pink leaning, you would love the EBE's palette. I am not gonna buy it right now just because I feel like it's too deep for me. It's not like deep in terms of like mattes. I feel like there's a lot of deeper shimmers, and there's a lot of shifty holochromy shimmers, which I'm not at this point of time. I do love a good shimmery eyelid, you know that, but I feel like I'm not so much into greens or pinks. things that I need to buy it right away, but I'll still keep it in my wish list because I can see myself grabbing for it when it goes out on a sale. But for now, I'm going to just keep it in my wish list. So that is what was there in the wish list for July so far, I must say. Let me go to June and see if there was anything that was still there in my wish list. I think nothing else. Nothing was there in the June that is still sticking out to me in July that I need to buy it. So that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up. You guys have to let me know, out of the wish list items of July, which is one thing that is calling out for you and you cannot wait to buy it. Do sound it down in the comment section below. But that's all for today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.